And gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Factorio, the island. My name, of course, is Orbital Potato. My oh my oh my. So I've just read some of the comments that I got on the third Factorio episode that I put up, and I think somebody said this is the single worst furnace design that I have ever seen. And you know what? I would not disagree with said person, but we're gonna give it a shot. I'm okay with tearing it down if that's what it takes to appease you guys. If you've got any suggestions on a better way to make it, then yeah, sure, I will do it. I'm just trying to make it a little bit different, because I don't want it to be the same, you know, just long line of furnaces with furnaces on either side. I want to make sure that we're using every single bit of production that we have access to, and I think in this sort of like modular way, that may be a little bit easier. I may be completely wrong, I may be barking mad, but we're at least going to give it a shot. Humor me for a little bit, and if it doesn't work, then I shall confess my sins, and I shall repent by building an entirely new, better, more sensible network. Does that sound like a deal? It sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I don't know about you, but think about that. If all you need to do is humor me, and eventually you'll be able to prove me right. So think of the power. Think of the power. All right, what are we going to be doing? Well, first things first, I was thinking once again a little bit about what I want to do, and I wanted to build a radar first and foremost, because I actually want to, you know, sniff out a little bit of what is going on around us. Bear in mind that we're on an island, and so I'm not really a huge fan of not knowing what the hell is going on. So we're just going to plonk down our radar, and we can start scanning the sector and adding on a little bit of info to our currently very, very undiscovered map. I mean, yeah, we're going to need some oil. I mean, we've got a little bit of oil on the island, but yeah, we're going to need a lot of oil. So that's kind of something that we need to consider, I'm afraid. Yeah, not a fan of that. Anyway, we're slowly but surely working on our Grandmaster processing area, which is going to be slow, and it's going to be very inefficient perhaps for some people, but or not very appropriate for some people. Maybe that's the better term. I don't think it's going to be inefficient. I think it's going to be very, very efficient in what it actually does. But yeah, some people aren't going to like it, and you know what? That's just life, I suppose. That's just life. But yeah, honestly, every single comment helps. I really, really do appreciate every single comment that you guys leave. Because it means that, you know, I can say, hey, yeah, this is definitely not working, and I'm going to try and do something a little bit differently, you know, for example. And, you know, that just really, really helps, I think, anyway. I really like it when people comment on my videos. It makes a heck of a lot of difference, at least to me. Alright, where next? What do we want to do next? I do not know. I think we're probably going to take a belt up. Well, we can't leave that bit of belt there, but I'd rather have belt coming up here if I'm honest. And you know, once again, demonstrating to everybody that yes, a very, very inefficient system indeed, but one that hopefully will work. I mean, I'm crossing my fingers, like really, really hoping for something to magically come together. But the more and more I build out of it, the more and more I feel, maybe everybody that's well, I say maybe everybody that's commenting. There's not very many people that are commenting. Maybe the folk that are commenting are correct. Maybe I'm definitely wrong. I say maybe I'm definitely wrong. I'm almost certainly definitely wrong. That's a bit too high. Yeah, I'm almost certainly wrong, but you know what? I'm okay with that. In fact, you know what? Yeah, let's forget about... I was going to say forget about this area, but maybe we don't want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be there. So theoretically we can go plonk, 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 and then whap some furnaces, or whap a furnace. Eine furnace, as they say in Germany. Eine furnace right there. Pop that over there. No, over there. It doesn't matter. Whatever. And up here. And down here. And we get our next addition of furnaces. That's not furnaces, is it, Potato? That's really not furnaces. Alright. There we go. And then, once again, right there. Pop, 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 pop. Suddenly we're sitting pretty with an extra furnace area. Now, I think this is probably all we're going to worry about the furnace area. I mean, there seems like no reason to build any more extra stuff. What do we want to do? I think we probably want to just join this up if at all possible. I mean, that may imbalance it slightly, but I don't really think it will. I mean, you know, we'll still... If it does imbalance properly, then all we'll need to do is stick a splitter here, or stick a splitter here, pop it underneath, and then get it to come around and connect up on the other side of this. But I'm really hoping that it doesn't do that, and instead, everything just works out. Okay, so we've been putting off quite a lot. Let's build... Oh, Automation 2. That's very, very nice. Going to give us access to the much, much nicer Assembly Machine 2. I do like that. I do like that a lot. And I think that's one of the last major things that we can research with just red science. Military, I don't really care about military, to be honest. Armor crafting, I care somewhat about armor crafting. I'll take armor crafting. I'll take that. Alright. As I was saying, yeah, it's time that we build a shit ton of normal landfills. I'll just build a lot so that I can sort of talk about what we're doing. Let's cancel this. Cancel. Goodness me. How difficult is it to cancel something, Potato? Apparently, very, very difficult. Okay, so we're going to need a peripheral route. And we're going to need to go around the outside and go somewhere. I mean, I don't actually know. Like, where do we want to go? I mean, we could do something fancy. We could do something fancy. Fancy and inefficient, but I don't really fancy and inefficient. I fancy something fancy and efficient. And that's primarily the reason that I got these landfills together. Is so that I can do stuff like this. Right? This is what I'm thinking, right? This is what I'm thinking. Now, you'll notice that there is space for a belt that will go along here. Okay. There we go. There we go. This is what I had in mind. This is originally what I had in mind. Alright, something like this. Just basically a route that goes around the entire outside and, you know, all the way down. And I think this is far enough out to not impact anything of major importance. Oh, we're going to need one more bit of landfill. Goodness me. One more stinking bit of landfill. And then come in all the way down here. Armor crafting researched. Very, very good news indeed. Going to continue down here. Alright, so something like that. I don't actually hate the look of that, which is surprising. Because usually, not a fan. Not a fan of the shit that I build. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought? Me? Over the Potato? Not liking the look of the stuff that he actually builds? Crazy, right? Alright. Okay. Do we have... We do actually have some... Yeah, of these electric mining drills. Now, very important that we place these in positions that... the positions that will allow a maximum area to be mined out. Obviously, let's face it, we're in no rush to mine out these resources. We don't need to pack them super, super tightly. Because, you know, we're going to be mining, essentially, this copper field forever. Not like it's going to be the only copper field that we're mining. Far from it. I would expect to have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of copper fields that are doing our bidding. But for now, it's the only copper field that we're actually going to be mining. What do we want to do about red science? We should probably be outputting red science to a chest rather than just wasting this production or this build capability. We might as well store it all up. Got any coal? Yep, coal in there and some coal in there. Perfect timing. All right, there we go. So we're going to have to get a couple of things all linked up to this massive point over here. And the great thing about this system is it's going to work perfectly with and without coal, which is very, very, very reassuring. All we need to do is feed coal into there, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, Gertrude is your favorite sister. We will get results, which is kind of nice. And I know, folks, I get it. Things are looking messy, but you know what? Great ideas have got to start somewhere. In fact, you know what? I'll go even further than that. Crappy ideas have got to start somewhere. In fact, this is the home of crappy ideas. In fact, crappy ideas were fucking born here. Is that going to be... Oh, that's not level enough. Not level enough. Wow. Wow, I'm really making sense right now. Holy cow. No, transport belt. Let's belt backwards. Let's do the backwards thing. Let's do the belting of the backwards. So we're going to have one simple area. Oh, really? It's completely unnecessary, game. You didn't have to do that to me. You didn't have to have a little panic. Could have just been very chill. Come on. Come on. Alright. Okay, so, currently, need to bear in mind that we're going to have coal in this system. It's not going to be a permanent feature. It's going to be a temporary feature. But we're going to have copper or resources going down one side, and we're going to have coal going down the other. So I'm going to say executively that resources are going to be on this side of the belt, and then everything else, as in coal, will be on the other side of the belt, which is kind of nice. Oh, okay, we're going to need some electric mining drills, which means I'm going to need a shit ton more resources. Thank you very much. Alright. There we go. And more iron. I do need a lot of iron. We need to start upping our iron production fairly rapidly. Am I building the right thing there? Yes, we do need electric mining drills to thingy the coal over here, to power the coal mines that are going to be over yonder on that coal field. Ah, we're full up on coal there. That explains why you guys aren't working then. Ah, figures. See, I am smart sometimes. No, I joke. I'm smart pretty much never, actually. Pretty much never. Alright. Let's pop down... Let's pop down that there, and that there. Goody, goody, goody. And... you can go down, down, and along. Not like it matters which side of the belt coal is actually at, because let's face it, this belt is going to be a belt for exclusive coal, or a belt exclusively for coal, should I say. And so, it's going to be coal on it anyway. Oh, you're kidding me. We're 2 bits of track off. Oh, I say track. I mean belt. Track is a very, very different substance. Alright, that's pretty nice, actually. That's pretty darned nice. And as soon as we power that whole rig up, then we should be ready to start processing up there. I mean, there are a couple of things that we need to add on, but hey-ho. You gotta have faith, folks. You gotta have faith. As George Michael said, who is... a singer-songwriter in the UK who did a tremendous amount of cocaine, I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to get sued by him, though. I'm just saying, as far as I'm aware, he snorted a ton of the stuff. Alright. Pop you down there. In fact, you know what? Let's get away with... What? Wait, excuse me? I would like to pick up... There we go. Oh my goodness. Bit pernickety, but we got there in the end, didn't we? Didn't we, game? Yes, we did. We darned well did. Got some more lights. Smack some lights down because I ain't a fan of this whole darkness thing. Not like it really makes a substantial difference to the game. You know, there's no, special baddies at night or anything, which would be kind of cool, I guess. But at the same time, it would also be utterly petrifying and terrifying and darn right awful. But hey, that's just my opinion. You might like baddies at night. I mean, I'm not a fan personally, but hey ho, I really want to use these explosive termites. Holy shit. I also really want to use the shaped compression bomb. Fucking hell. Wow. That looks epic. Shit. I dig that. You get it? I dig it because it throws land out of the way. Ha. Ha. I dig it. See? See what I said there? See what I did there? Just me? Alright, sorry, I'll go and find a hole and just live in it. Alright, I need more wood. I need more wood. Which is surprising, because I've got a ton of wood right now. Not in my inventory, in reality. No, I joke. That is a very, very crude joke. I apologize profusely. No, but basically we need more wood so we can build some more telephone poles. or small electric poles, whatever you want to call them. I like calling them telephone poles. I think they're pretty darn cool. Telephone poles, that is. Quite old as well, quite a historic sort of thing. Now we tend to either bury cables or, you know, stick them higher up in the air. Don't really stick them, you know, a couple of meters up like we used to with telephone poles. Don't know why. Well, I can guess why though. I mean, I imagine people that use telephone poles. Oh, what on earth? All right, we've missed a shit ton of stuff out from here. We need more belts and we need a furnace. Wow, that's a little bit of a strange thing to leave behind. Bit daft, but hey ho. Alright, pop you down there, pop you down there. And pop you down over there. And that piece of belt can go right over there. Perfect. And we need more. Oh god, you're just out of reach, really? I mean, it doesn't look as pretty as it could look. But let's face it, these poles ain't sticking around for long. The small electric poles, I don't want to say they're the bane of my life, because they're certainly, you know, they're certainly appreciated. What they do is certainly appreciated. They just do a little bit of a shit job, so to speak, which I understand. Alright, we do need more belt. Fucking hell. Oh, our one turret is being attacked. Well, I say our one turret is being attacked. It's not even being attacked yet. So currently, we've only got the first 2 furnaces of every module actually working. That's not what we want to have happen. We want to have every module working 100% of the time. Obviously, currently the resources that are actually coming in are tiny. Literally tiny. And they're building up on the belts that are not in use. And I have confidence that eventually once all these belts have stacked up, the ones that are not currently being used, once they've all stacked up, we will have a much closer to all of the machinery being used. Basically, we want to make sure that we're using every little bit of production that we possibly can. Because otherwise, I just see this as a complete failure. I mean, I'm trying to think outside the box, folks. I'm really trying. And I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I mean, you know, there's the standard sort of factory. I know, you know, there's people that build great, massive factories, you know, for the hell of it. And I actually like building massive factories, you know, I really do. But at the same time, I also just like to try new, different, and often very weird stuff. And I think, yeah, this is totally something that is viable. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be the most efficient way. I don't care if it's going to be the most efficient way. Because you know what? We've got our little island. We're going to fucking exploit it to shit. We're going to travel all over the map with trains. We're going to have a great time. Oh, what a time we're going to have. In the meantime, though, I don't want to waste all this belt. And since we're not actually going to be belting down here, or we're not going to be belting the copper down here anymore, we don't need to worry about it. Now, we do need to get smart inserters. Smart inserters are something that I would like very much. Smart inserters would allow us to actually start, you know, fundamentally getting to grips with the this sorting system that we will have to employ, unfortunately. It's a real shame that we're going to have to use a sorting system, but, you know, it's going to happen eventually, I'm afraid to say. Looks like we're using a lot more of the production that we've got available to us. That's nice to see. We're seeing the copper tailing back pretty much on all of the unused belt at the moment. That's not going to be around for long, all right? I want to make that clear. This unused belt is not going to be out for long. You're never going to see this. This is not going to be around once we've built out all the modules and stuff. So, you know, I guarantee you that. Mark my words. Okay. Do we want to just go straight from here? Do we want to just be, you know, go balls to the wall? Fuck it. I guess we do. Yeah, maybe? Something like that. I mean, we could connect it with a splitter, actually, which I think is probably the correct option. Bear in mind that I feel I heavily underuse splitters, but probably in this series I will heavily overuse them. You know, it ain't the prettiest, but it certainly works, doesn't it? It certainly works. And maybe we should connect this with a splitter over here as well. I think we should. Let's redo that. There we go. I think, yeah, splitters everywhere. All right. Maybe I'll just, you know, scrap the island part of the series and just call it splitters everywhere. Maybe that is what the series should be called. All right. Where did I want to put a splitter in? I wanted to put a splitter in here. Yeah, I guess. So stick that in there like so. Maybe that'll work a little bit better. It might not. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, we've got copper coming along quite nicely, which is good to see. And we can just build straight down from here. That's the plan anyway. Where do we want the sorting system to be? Good question. I don't actually know. Well, this is going to be the production area. That's for damn certain, right? Like, we can't do anything about the fact that this is the production area. Let me just build a couple more lights. Okay. Put that down there. Yeah, we want this place to be showered in a great glow of light bulbs. Alright. Perfect. Look at that. It's gosh darn beautiful. Gosh darn beautiful, if I do say so myself. I feel, you know what, maybe our sorting system could be out on its own little island. I feel that would be really, really cool. Oh. One object is being damaged? Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think the sorting system is going to be out on its own little island. And what do we need for smart inserters? What do we need for smart inserters? I'm curious about this. Where is it? Where would it be? Where would it be? Where would smart inserters be? Logistics 2? Logistics 3? No, not logistics. It wouldn't be logistics. It would be the other one. What's the non-logistics one? Automation? No, it's not automation. What is it called? I know exactly what it's called. It's... What's it called? I can't remember for the life of me what it would be. Oh my goodness. Where is it? Where is it? Advanced electronics? It's not advanced electronics. Where on earth are smart... Do we already have smart inserters? We can't already have smart inserters. Oh shit, we've already got smart inserters. That figures. Oh my god, well then we're fucking sorted then. We can immediately start working on our sorting system, and you know, indeed we will. So ladies and gents, thanks very, very much for watching this operation. This operation? No, this Factorio. Factorio the island. My name, of course, has been Over Potato. Hopefully you'll tune in next time. Hopefully you'll warm to the furnace design. You know? I can only try. Anyway, ladies and gents, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.